Lottie says, female 40 from UK. Hello, Lottie. How you would explain the subconscious? People say you must know your subconscious. And that's true. But at the end of the day, surely I should focus more on my reality. Well, first of all, I don't know why they call it subconscious. It's all consciousness. Who came out to divide this? It's all in there. It's in one big storage. Consciousness, subconsciousness, they separated. So, you should know consciousness, and subconscious or whatever you segmented it is all in there. Everything is in there. And how you know your consciousness is by watching some of the videos that I have talked about what is thought, what is consciousness. If you put in what is thought, what is consciousness, just the word consciousness, you will get a bunch of videos that from the title you know which one to watch. And that explains to you thoroughly what consciousness is. What is the relationship between thoughts and consciousness? What is thinking? There are all kinds of, if you go to the playlist, the Psyche, you will have all these videos there, which have nothing to do with relationships. Because all the tapes and videos that we have and responses we have for relationship matters, it's actually rooted from the playlist called the Psyche. All the stuff that we said there has been used in order to help us to understand what we are feeling and going through when we have a relationship problem. So if you go on the playlist Psyche, or you search on my channel for the word consciousness, thoughts and consciousness, you will get a bunch of videos, or consciousness alone, or thoughts alone. And she said, by the end of the day, surely I should focus more on my reality. Yes, you should focus definitely on your reality, because if you look at something and don't stay with it, you will lose contact with the reality of it, whatever the situation is, and you will be now observing it no longer. You will now be perceiving it based on what you have in your memory of that similar situation, or of that category of what it is that you're experiencing, and no longer you are in contact, interacting with the actuality of the thing. You're actually interacting with it according to the perception of similar situation you have in your memory, and that's going to interfere with your chance to actually experience what's going on and make an effort in interacting with it. Your interaction would be interaction of how you did in the past, and you have that in your memory, and now you're using that to perceive what it is actually in front of you. And we've discussed this sort of thing in other videos, that anyhow, you're right, the bottom line is that you have to be in the present. You have to be submerged and focused and alert and focused on your, did I say focus 2 times? I did. on your efforts, on the happening of what it is. Focus on the happening of what it is, not on, oh, I know something like this happened before and that's how it was. And suddenly you're in your memory, you're in the past, you're no longer here, and you will miss that experience. And then later on, when you experience another similar situation, you will be thinking of this, because naturally you're recording while you're dealing with it, with the information you have in your memory from a past experience about this, but you're also recording this. And later on, when you're seeing another similar situation, you may actually be facing with that, using the memory that is being recorded through this, which you're actually dealing with it with the previous experience on it, which means you're living a second-hand life. You're always behind. You're always perceiving life and never actually with the actuality of life. Because every time you're going back to your memory, you're finding something similar, and you're interacting with this, what is happening, based on how it was. You're seeing it based on your perception, not based on its actuality. So that means the next time you may be actually using this particular experience to perceive what is happening that new next time, which means you're always one step behind. You're always using a second-hand experience. You're never with the actuality of things. You're always dealing with it with the perception of things that you've done before and using it for dealing with this one. So you will get conditioned to never be present, to always find similarities of this with something in the past, which is not the way to really be interactive and influencing at the moment that things are happening. You'll always be behind, and after the fact you will try to use that experience that you should have used at that moment to the next situation. You're always behind. So focus on efforts you make on that particular moment and be alert of that particular happening of that moment. Then you've got it made. Then you're living. Otherwise, the living that you do is actually the death of the past. You're living, what you call living would be actually in the death of the past. Mark says, that was a great pleasure listening to your answer. Okay. Lottie says, the thing I don't get is people say, this is the part of my mind I don't know, and suggest ways I can know what I don't know. It seems strange. Okay, maybe I need a little bit more elaboration on that, Lottie. This thing I don't get is people say this is the part of my mind. Whose mind? Their mind or your mind? I don't know. It's part of my mind I don't know. And suggest ways I can know what I don't know. Alright, it's a little ambiguous, but kind of see what you're getting at, but it's a little bit missing a certain part of it. Because if you know the mechanism of your mind, the effect and interaction of thought and consciousness, fear and desire and pleasure and ego in your life, in your conditioning, in other words, knowing your center and how it reacts to life and to situations and to patterns of happening in life, then you would be able to know how to know the things that you don't know, because you know the mechanism of how this thing can know, or can at least explore what you don't know, rather than just passing by and say, I don't know, and I don't have a way. You know, it's one thing to actually know what's in the room. You may not know if you look into the room, what's in there. You may not have a knowledge of what these things are. And it's another thing to at least have the key to open that door, then to see if you can know or not know. So if you know the mechanism of brain and you're me, the center of you, then it's like you have the key to open the door at least, and then see what you can make out of what it is in that room. But not knowing the mechanism of the me, the center, it is like don't even have the key to be able to open that door. You just pass by. The door is closed. Okay, fine. I don't know it. That's the two different things. I think perhaps that would be somewhat helpful to your question. All right, guys. Looks like that we have answered all the questions that we have today. I thank you very much for spending time with me today. I love you all and appreciate your time. Please make sure you share the videos that you like in your social media. Help us to grow. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. And like if you haven't liked. And be good to yourself, to the others. I look forward to talk to you again. Perhaps tomorrow. I'm not sure. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.